6 lessons I learned during my first year as being a new dad that not only boosted my energy, but it actually made me confident enough to compete in my first ever Spartan Super 10K race. And I did it all by the time my son turned 1. The first lesson is start small, build a manageable workout routine that's tailored to your new life and your new responsibilities. I knew that if I wanted to get fit again, I needed to create a workout routine that was straightforward and adaptable as a Lego set. I started small. I began with short 10 to 15 minute walks, just enough to get my legs moving and get me outside. Those seemingly tiny efforts laid the foundation. Gradually, I turned those walks into 15-minute workouts, and then eventually I turned those back into full 30 to 45-minute workout routines. I focused on streamlining each workout that I did, and I distilled it down to 4 key compound movements. I made sure to shorten my warm-up routines, and I removed any excess exercises that I didn't need to do or that wouldn't give me the most bang for my buck. The way that I made my workouts simple wasn't just about getting fit again. It helped give me a sense of control over my day and my routine, even when being a new parent felt pretty freaking crazy. Remember, staying fit as a new parent doesn't need to feel like a huge struggle. It's about making a plan that fits into your new life and just taking it one step at a time. So here are a few tips for how you can do it too. Try your best to plan ahead, whether it's working out around your baby's nap time for 30 to 40 minutes, or whether it's talking to your partner, your spouse, and communicating that you want to carve out some workout time for yourself. Remember that it's going to take time to reform your old habits and, more importantly, adapt them to your new responsibilities as a new parent. You're juggling a lot, so don't forget that. Oh, and before we move on, I created a free workout cheat sheet, which you can find in the pinned comment below. It's got all the insider info to help make reaching your fitness goals as a new parent that much simpler. So give it a look and let's keep working together. Second lesson I learned was fuel your body. Make protein-rich meals and high-quality H2O your best friend. When our son Nico first came home, life was wild. Even getting a solid, healthy meal felt like a huge challenge. But in those early days, I remember one thing specifically that had a huge impact on my energy levels and, most importantly, on my body composition, and that's protein, protein, protein. But hold on, eating more protein wasn't just about muscle growth at that time. Think of it as the equivalent of putting premium fuel in your car. It helped keep me satiated between our regular meal schedule, plus it also helped keep my energy levels a little bit more stabilized throughout the day. One example is Slate milk. It's one of my absolute favorite go-to high protein drinks, and it's delicious. The next thing I did is I drank lots of water. Yes, water. I always had my Yeti bottle nearby, and I was just taking sips, and you know what? Staying hydrated has a huge impact on how you feel, believe it or not. The next thing I did was use helpful apps to make the whole process a lot easier, especially since I was already mentally exhausted. So I used an app called Carbon Diet Coach. I've been using it for over 2 years now. Not only can it tell you the ideal amount of protein you should be getting, it also acts as a virtual dietitian that's on call 24/7 for you. By focusing on hitting my daily protein goal and drinking more water, I just felt more in control of my days, even though my new schedule as a dad was totally nutso. So here's how you can do it too. First, try to find protein-rich foods that you actually like. Next, keep your water close by. Keep sipping whenever you can. Lastly, ask for help if you need it. Use apps like Carbon Diet Coach or online tools like IIFYM. All of these things will help simplify the process. It'll help you understand what you need to consume in terms of your ideal macronutrient profile. The third lesson that I learned was get outside, get some fresh air and some sunshine, because dear God, do I need it. Odd sleep hours, no exercise, and lots of ordering out food made me feel like a zombie. One day when I couldn't take it anymore, I got Nico, put him in his stroller, and we stumbled outside for a nice little 10-minute walk. The sun hit my face, everything came alive, right? My brain felt better, my mood was better. Who would have guessed that the sun and vitamin D would have been good for your mood? I committed to about 3 walks per week for about 15 to 20 minutes. I picked a number of steps that I wanted to hit for the day, and I tried to stick to it as best I could. I made a point to get outside for a minimum of 10 minutes a day, just for my own mental health. It was just something simple I could do that gave me control back, made me feel human again, and I believe it can do the same for you. All right, here's how you can do it. Grab your shoes, just put them on, set a timer for 10 minutes, and go. Get outside. Right after this video, if you need to, pause it, go outside. The next thing you can do is set an easy goal. You don't need to jump into walking every day if that seems overwhelming to you, but maybe start with 1 to 2 walks a week. Bring the whole family, make it a family affair, and enjoy some outside time. The fourth lesson that I learned was stay loose and fight off stiffness as much as I can by doing some simple stretching, mobility exercises, or foam rolling every day for anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes. I noticed after sitting and holding my son Nico for a while that I would get up and my hamstrings or my lower back were both most of the time, would be really tight. So whether it was doing a few mobility exercises, a light stretching routine, or just foam rolling for 5 to 10 minutes, that time that I set aside for that every day made me feel like a new man. And as my son got bigger, I was able to put him right here with his walker, being a part of my workouts. And one of the best parts was he thought it was hysterical when I would do push-ups or squats in front of him. So here's how you can do this too. Choose your preferred movement that you can stick to every day, whether it's some stretching, whether it's a couple of mobility exercises, or some light foam rolling. Next, find the time. Maybe while the baby's napping or right before bed, but find that 5 to 10 minutes. It's really gonna make a huge difference for you. Stick to it, try to do it every day. Even if you don't do a full 5 or 10 minutes, it's really irrelevant. Just the act of doing a few exercises or spending 2 to 3 minutes doing some mild stretching can really make a huge improvement, especially when you're used to sitting all day when you're caring for your child. The 5th lesson I learned was make my bedroom the best sleep sanctuary I could, given the circumstances that we had. Sleeping when the baby is sleeping is definitely easier said than done. I made sure I had a dark room, I made sure our fans were on, and additionally, this is when I started to cut off my caffeine intake by around 3 or 4 p.m. Kate and I definitely worked as a team. We would switch nights with who had the baby monitor, so that way one of us was getting some quality sleep that night, regardless of when our son Nico would wake up. Another tool that I love that became super helpful is Rise Science. They would tell me the best times for me to fall asleep and helped me understand why I had a sleep deficit and my own sleep patterns so that I could really capitalize on the times of day where I had the highest energy and the times of day where I would dip in my energy a little bit. But these changes did make it a little bit more manageable for myself and for my wife to improve the quality of the little sleep that we were getting. So here's a few tips to help you try this too. 1, set up your room, make sure it's pitch black, make sure your temperatures are between 67 and 69 degrees. Coordinate with your partner. Talk about sleep shifts, talk about who's getting up tonight or deciding who's gonna have the baby monitor for the night, so that way one of you can focus on getting some restful sleep. 6th and final lesson that I learned was challenge yourself with a long-term goal and surround yourself with supportive people. Nico was about 6 months old when my good friend Sarah hit me with a crazy idea. Want to do a Spartan race with me and my family? Just for those of you that don't know what it is, it's a 10K run that takes you through obstacles, mud, and some steep AF hill climb. And guess what? I'm not a runner. The longest I've ever run was about a mile, and it was a struggle. So I committed. I didn't know how I was gonna pull it off, but I said, let's do it. We ended up following a similar workout plan. We would meet up for weekly runs, and we even had a group text where we would talk about the race, talk about how we were all feeling. It was the support system and the accountability that I didn't realize I needed. I survived the race, I finished. So here are a few things that can help you try this too. Pick a challenge. Write down a long-term goal that you have for yourself. It could be audacious and wild, or it could be something simple that you wanna work towards. Then break that larger long-term goal down into some smaller, manageable actions that you can focus on every day. Lastly, find your support system, right? Rally your friends. Find people that are gonna support you in this process, whether that's through verbal support or whether they're gonna do it with you. For myself, I knew that implementing these tactics and habits was only gonna be half the battle. I needed structure back in my life, something that would come in the form of a well-designed, efficient, and effective workout routine. And building structure back into my daily life, right? My routine is exactly what helped me find balance as a parent and gave me the ability to take care of myself and my family. And that's exactly what I'm gonna cover in the next video right here. I'm gonna break down 3 simple strategies that helped me grow stronger and healthier as a new parent.